This is the Cinematography for Actors podcast.
More than a podcast, CFA is a vibrant community devoted to bridging the gap between talent and crew. Each week, our show offers transparent, insightful conversations with industry leaders. We unveil the magic behind the scenes, from candid discussions about unique filmmaking processes to in-depth technical exploration.
Join us in unraveling the intricacies of filmmaking one episode at a time. It's more than just cameras and lenses over here. We aim to inspire, educate, and empower as we peel back the curtain on the art of effective storytelling.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. All right. As a DP, I know purchasing gear can kind of be a nightmare. Whether you're talent or crew, finding technical solutions to any of your problems can be very challenging. And what's even harder is knowing where to go. So we have an answer for you. Head over to BandPro, one of our incredible sponsors here at CFA. Whether you're looking for high-end cameras and lenses or looking for guidance on what is needed to get started on this equipment journey of yours, BandPro has the gear and team that you need to thrive in your own career.
They are the exclusive representative of Ingenue's complete cinema line for all of North and South America, and their customer support is fantastic. Not only do they have a great team to answer any product question you might have, but they also have a talented team of in-house technicians that you can actually talk to get your equipment back up and running.
Which is really important, especially if you're on set. So,
yeah.
Bonus. Go to bandpro.com or stop in at their location in Burbank, and please make sure to say hi from CFA because we love them so very much.
Us.
Yeah, hello. Thanks. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another Cinematography for Actors podcast episode here live at AFI FEST. I am joined here with the filmmaking team of Cherry KOMPOT. We have three lovely filmmakers, if you are listening and cannot watch this, sitting with me today on a couch. My name is Indiana. I'm one of the founders of CFA. We have here Teddy Schaffer, director. We have Camille Tsalik, the writer, and we have Lara Marks, our producer. Hi. Welcome. Hi. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm stoked you're here too. I am feeling the love on this couch today. Now, before we dive into the technical, practical, and creative, can we get a bit about what this film is about?
Yeah, of course. Simply put, it's, a man grieving and coming to terms with that grief. And all the hijinks that ensue, when he believes that his deceased wife, is haunting him. So.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
And origin of this, where did it come from? Ideas?
Yeah. Unfortunately, reality, my grandmother, she passed away during the pandemic, and I was not able to mourn with my family. And so, it was more of just me reflecting, amidst calls to my grandfather, and reflecting on their relationship as well as my perception of my grandmother, and and that's what came about, was me just reflecting on her legacy. And it started off as just being this, simple practice of me letting it out on the page,
Wow.
and just me sobbing over my laptop in the most melodramatic way. But yeah, that's what.
Hey, at the end of the day, it's an
Yeah.
art form. We're artists. Yeah. You're allowed. You have emotions. They're valid, and they're here, and I love it. Teddy, when getting this script, what was the first thing that drew you to it, the ideas around it, or I just can't wait to show this?
I think it definitely was the characters, the relationship between Lev and Sonia, and the dialogue between them. Just, the first time that Sonia appears and she nags at him, I just thought it was a very surprising but fun, way to approach your lover who's grieving you, to sort of nag at you. I think that's such a good representation of family. It reminds me of my grandparents, just the way that they would fight, but it was out of such tough love. And then I think it was really just exciting to think of ways to bring Sonia to life.
Yeah.
I think that when I think about my grandmother, I think about her environment, the house that she lived in and all the stuff that she had, the wallpaper. So I just thought the best way to have her be revealed is through the space and through the design and through her the kind of like ingredients of her life that she
Wow.
lived.
And Lara, for casting, we've had two of your teams speak about the importance of character and the identity around that. And then I want to get into eventually environment and that as a character. But for casting, what were like the biggest things that you're like, these are our priorities, this is what we're looking at? What did it first go from like, it needs to be authentic to the looks, or was it like, let's see if someone's going to surprise us?
The casting process was difficult because first we were dealing with like an elderly age group, and in a dream world we wanted our actors to be Ukrainian to get it to be as authentic as possible. After a significant search, including us literally flyering around like little, Ukrainian shops,
Absolutely,
like selling
yeah.
cherry KOMPOT, we kind of realized we needed to expand our search.
Yeah.
So Sonia is played by a Russian actress, but she is incredibly close with, the story,
Yeah.
the culture,
Yeah.
and so that felt like kind of an authentic alternative way of portraying her.
Yes.
And then actually one of our probably most special finds in terms of casting was Sophia, who plays the young Sonia, who actually came to the US on a program Uniting for Ukraine
Oh, wow.
as a Ukrainian refugee. So her being here today and seeing the film was incredibly special for her.
Yeah, and that's such a wonderful way of dealing with the themes of mourning and like having your audience resonate, because I think we can all resonate on like, time isn't always the kindest to us. And so we can't always be there for those moments. And so finding a way of putting that into a film together with a filmmaking team like yourselves is a really beautiful way of having your audience connect. And so that's so wonderful. Now for the practical of like the visual themes and ideas, you read the script and you're do you have a style on your own? Like as a director, you're like, I always kind of like this kind of shot design. I always kind of like this framing. Or is it for this story specifically, let's switch it up?
I think it was this story in particular that made me, I don't know, just want to do something really creative. I think that I was, thinking about like Wes Anderson, and there's this woman who, I forgot her name, but she has this exhibit called Anonymous Women, and it's like a bunch, there's statues that portray kind of like a 1950s like housewife and the kind of like folklore behind that through visuals. Like she's coming out of an oven and she's coming out of like a curtain drape, and I just thought there was something really haunting about those photos, and I pretty much just wanted to kind of mimic that haunting feel because it was very colorful but also very mysterious at the same time. So yeah, hopefully I achieved that.
Incredible. Now with the script, you kind of start with a script, you've locked it finally after maybe like, a dozen, 20, 30 drafts. How much of what people are going to be seeing on screen is what you started with on the script versus what did you have to change because of limitations of just filmmaking in general and the constraints around it?
I think the elements of Sonia appearing had to come in through multiple drafts of the script, and I think
That was all Teddy.
Yeah,
that was all Teddy.
But I think that I definitely wanted to keep the spirit of the dialogue, and because I think that was written so well, and that's what drew me to the script. Like just the way that these characters speak to each other. So I definitely wanted to preserve that, but I think Sonia, she comes in and out more than she did previously because I wanted to kind of keep that like build so that when they do have that final conversation, she's right there.
Yeah.
So being able to build up to that was important.
We also we did have an entire exorcism scene in the
deleted
script,
scenes.
the locked script that we shot.
How
and we
crazy and fun.
It was
How
crazy. It was fun.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it also got
It
cut.
happens. It happens. I get it.
It
Yeah.
didn't quite make the cut.
That's okay. Yeah.
But I think that was really interesting in the editing process. Through feedback, that felt in the script development process like it was our most pivotal scene.
Yeah.
And then the fact that we could entirely do away with it and still have, you know, the kind of arc and the arc of the story and the most sincere version of it without it was interesting.
That's cool. Now, one of the biggest things of AFI Conservatory and of the festival this year, the theme, the logo, slogan is Film is for Everyone. At AFI, I think that's like the running theme of the conservatory, because you have a diverse group of filmmakers every year entering into the program and making films. What is the biggest part or the most important thing about finding your collaborators for projects? What's like the one thing you look for when you're hiring your team? I'll kind of ask each one of you. Yeah.
It's so hard to pick one thing because
I know.
Of course,
I've tricked you guys.
of course, like technical skill, visual style, originality. But honestly, for me, I think what AFI taught me is like I need to get on with the people I'm working with on a personal level.
Yes.
Like I need to be able to, you know, understand one another as humans, have that level of empathy, and spark off each other. Otherwise, it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me as a writer, like I have to be able to communicate, like, and, you know, have discussions, you know, I'm not, like, it's not a transactional relationship. And so, yeah, feeling like I can have a conversation with my collaborators, like, and so we discuss what we're, like, our shared goal. As a writer, like, having that discussion, that preliminary discussion is really important for me, and, like, Lara and Teddy being so like open to, you know, engaging in that, like, because we're filmmakers, so I love discussing, you know, what we do. Yeah, so being able to do that, that's a big one for me.
Beautiful. Teddy, how about you?
Yeah, I think what I've realized through this process is it's great to work with people who kind of say yes to things, even if it's not possible. It's like, okay, yes, but we have to do this.
Yeah.
Not, no, we can't do that. Let's
get
that's
creative.
crazy.
Yeah.
I think that like our costume designer Millie, she was so great to work with because she just kind of went on board with the craziness, and I mean like she kind of made it all happen with the wallpaper, with she's draped in laundry when she's in the kitchen. Obviously the deleted scene of her, you won't see it, but she's like draped in the curtain. So Millie like made this whole curtain gag, which was so great.
Yeah.
So yeah, just exciting to like have someone on board that is just like, yeah, let's do it.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, now we're going to have to get out of it because the interview is unfortunately over. But thank you so much for joining us. I am so excited that people get to see Cherry Compote here at AFI Fest. Now, when are you screening? Was it today already?
Yeah.
We've just had it.
Oh my God, incredible. So hopefully Cherry Compote comes to a festival near you. If not, I'm sure eventually it will be available online when the festival circuit is over. We have here once again Teddy Schaffer, our director, Camille Tsalik, our writer, and Lara Marks, our wonderful producer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for having us.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
Join us in bridging the gap between talent and crew. Start by subscribing on your preferred podcast platform. Sign up for our newsletter to stay up to date on vendor discounts, community events, new podcast releases, and you can educate yourself through our free course releases on YouTube.
It all starts at cinematographyforactors.com, and if you like this episode, consider leaving a review to make it easier for fine folks just like yourself to find us. We have some super exciting news. CFA has teamed up with We Make Movies to offer you a discount on production management services, including access to comprehensive production insurance, workers' comp for your next shoot. All you have to do is visit wemakemovies.com/insurance and use code CFA23 on your intake form for 10% off your quote.
Also, we've just partnered with We Audition, which I'm sure you know I'm very excited about, to offer you 25% off your membership. Use code CFA25 to get that membership for only $7.50 a month or $75 a year.